So this is where we'll start, so we're nice and quiet. I've signalled to stop because there's some cars behind us. So just before we change seats, any idea what the precautions might be getting in and out of the car? What are you looking for?
Cars.
So they'd be on my side. What about your side?
Would you? I don't know.
What might get up there, do you think?
This?
Yeah.
There's
Push
no-
bike might get up there?
I doubt it. But I suppose you'd always have to check behind you.
It's always best to be sure, isn't it? So, you know, just like we did when we moved off, just have a good look. Make sure nobody's going to come and rip your car door off. So when you get out the car again in this side, do you think it's best to walk round the front or round the back?
Is it round the front?
It's round the back.
Round the back, sorry.
Why do you think... You don't have to apologise. Why do you think that is?
Round the back?
Why do, it's better to go that way, do you think?
Because I suppose you can see better round the back.
You can see the vehicles coming, can you?
Vehicles coming.
Does that help them to see you?
Yeah.
So that might be useful too, mightn't it?
True,
So.
yeah.
So,
Sorry.
make sure it's safe before you open the door. Make sure it's safe before you get on this side. And I'll swap seats with you.
And it's a big... Oh, it's not big. Do you want this?
Yeah, just stick it on the dashboard. I'll grab it when I get it. It is a little bit deep, isn't it? Sorry about that. That puddle was a little bit deeper than I thought. So, well done. You checked all around before you got in. Waited for the traffic. So, let's have a look at that. I've got a copy of the workbook here. Well, that's typical, isn't it? Suddenly got busy.
He's overtaking him as well.
I know, he's obviously in a big hurry. How much time do you suppose he's saved there? Bless him. So...
I don't think it's right to overtake if you don't need to.
Well, it's just, people are crazy. Everybody's in a hurry these days. You're still not that far in front of them, but what you will find when we're learning to drive is that because we've got L plates on, people will break their necks to get past us. And they do all manner of daft things. You'll see as we go along.
Yeah, I can imagine. Don't let learner driver. Well, we all start somewhere.
Bloody learner drivers, you see. Nobody was born able to drive. Nobody. So you probably noticed that we have the brake and the clutch at this side.
Yeah.
Don't matter what happens to you, you're completely safe whilst I'm in here with you. I suppose if you're doing, 50 mile an hour down the road and you looked across here and had gone, then you can worry.
What I'm worried about is if I can't set off quick enough and there's people waiting, then...
So what we might sometimes need to do in those situations is maybe pull away a bit quicker than normal. If that's, like say for example now if you look down the road, there was somebody just coming into the road.
See.
All right, we'll sort that out in a second. But if you're just about to pull off and there was somebody a little way back, but you wanted to get away and you had to be quick, so you're going to have to be able to regulate how fast you pull away and stop. But we're going to do that today too. So we're going to show you how to get total control of the vehicle. When you first start learning to drive, I think everybody thinks that the car's in control of them. But it's just a lump of nuts and bolts. And it's, you're going to control it. But we'll do that as we go along. So did you have a look at the quiz? Let's have a look at what we think. What we think's what. So we're gonna look at the cockpit drill. Can you remember what that was? What we did?
The gear bit, the clutch.
We'll come to that a little bit after that. First thing is make sure.
Oh yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. So we check where we start and
That's
everything.
It. Can you reach all the pedals?
I think I'd probably like to be closer.
Go on then.
Is it like that?
So you don't need me to tell you how to. You've adjusted the seat before, haven't you? Can you get that one right the way down? Does that feel comfy or do you need to be a bit closer, do you think?
Maybe a little bit closer. Don't want to be too close. That's fine, that one.
Okay. Now the seat also goes up and down. How does it feel? Alright, can you see clearly up the road ahead?
Can I be a little bit taller?
You can. There's a handle on the right hand side. So you just do that, it'll jack you up in the seat.
Is this going to be too high or am I alright?
Up to you. Does it feel comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay. And can we get our hands all the way around the wheel? Now you can move the back of the seat up and down. How does it feel?
Oh, that's fine. I normally like
Okay.
sit.
So that's the base of the seat done, the back of the seat done. Final piece is this bit here. You know what it's for?
Your head.
So have a little lie down. It's to stop whiplash in the event of an accident. So it needs to be at the right height. If it's too low down, if somebody hit you, your head would snap back. If it's too far up, your head would go that way.
Do you think that that's fine?
If you put it back, if you just push a little firmer against it, does it feel like it's twisting your head? Or does it feel supportive?
Feels supportive.
I was going to say, it looks about right.
Yeah.
So it's really important. So if you can see mine at the minute, can you see, I mean, the bottom of my head's just going in. It's just a teeny bit high. So you don't want your head rolling back. You don't want it doing that either. So that's cool. So we're in there. We can reach all the steering wheel. We can reach all the controls.
Yeah.
So that's the first little bit. We need to make sure the doors are shut. Any idea how you might be able to tell that?
Is there not a signal in this car?
There's not in this one. Well, in mine there is. Mine's a bit more posh. If you have a look down the side of the car, can you see that black line that runs along the bottom of the windows? Watch what happens if the door isn't properly shut. Can you see there's just like a little kink in it?
No, I can't see that.
No. Can you see
Where's
what's
this
happening?
black line?
It's this. I'll tell you what. I'll show you. This just at the bottom of the window here.
Ah.
So you can see there's a flush line that goes along the side, but when I open the door, you can see there's a kink in it.
Ah, right, yeah.
So that tells you the door's open. If you were to drive off, you'd probably get the door rattling as well. So, as the driver, it's your responsibility to make sure that all the doors are shut. So you've got your doors are shut, you've got your seat set.
This one's shut, yeah.
And it's seat belt and mirrors, or mirrors and seat belt. Doesn't matter which way around you do it.
Seatbelt move, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Again, I'm sure you don't.
It's strange doing it from this side. I've never had to do that.
So that's good. You've got it set right. It needs to be across your hips, not twisted. We can check to see whether it works. So there's a test you can perform. If you pull it slowly like that, you can see it moves. If you pull it quickly, it locks. So in the event of an accident, it'll lock.
Yeah.
So it's I think it's worthwhile every once in a while just making sure that they still work.
Yeah.
You don't want to find out that they don't when it's too late.
When it's too late.
And then you need to adjust your mirrors so you can see clearly what's happening behind. So what can you see at the minute?
The top of the car.
Okay, you want to have a jiggle around? So you're basically framing the rear window. You see clearly up the road? So something like that. About right? Cool.
Yeah.
What can you see in these mirrors on the doors? Can you see side of the car and up the road?
I can see up the road and side of the car.
Okay,
Yeah.
how about in that one?
I can see side of the car and up the road.
Okay. Does the view look different in those mirrors to this one?
Is it a bit more magnified?
This one's true. They make things look further away.
Why is that?
They're just a different shape of glass. The idea is that it's slightly curved so you get a wider view.
Yeah,
So that'll help us to see what's around here. But there's a bit just outside of there in these red areas here that you can't see. It's what we call, it's what we call the blind spot. Have you heard of that bit before?
Yeah.
So before we move off, you'll notice before I moved away from your place, I checked the mirrors, but I also just checked over my shoulder. I also checked over this shoulder. I like to check both blind spots. So we're absolutely certain there's nobody about.
That's my blind spot.
It is. You see where that blue cup is on the grass over there?
Yeah.
You probably can't see that in your mirror, can you? So that's where your blind spot is.
Right.
So you're just making that extra check just before we move off to be.
And I don't ever look like that.
Well, technically you only need to check that one, but again, as a motorcyclist, before I move off, I start there, blind spot, mirror, 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 blind spot. And I think that gives me...
blind spot, mirror, mirror, mirror.
Mirror. On the wall.
Mirror.
Blind spot.
This needs to be moved a little bit.
Okay. So I like to make absolutely certain. I'd hate to think that I missed it. It's not so bad out here, but in city centres or town centres, there might be a pedestrian or a cyclist at this side that might have come up without me seeing them. So I like to just make absolutely sure. I'd hate to run somebody over because I'd just been a bit slack.
Yeah.
So, that's everything set so you can reach it. 3 sets of controls: hand controls, foot controls, and then what we call ancillary controls, which is heaters, wipers, that kind of stuff. Now we'll probably have to deal with the wipers today because it's raining. But we'll deal with the main ones. That's right, that's where the wipers are. Good. But
I just seen
it's a bit of a giveaway in it, the picture. So if we look at the foot controls, any idea what they are?
Is it your accelerator for that one?
Yep. What does that pedal do?
Gas.
It is. And when you press it, what happens?
You move.
Yep, if you're in gear, you will. But what does it do to the engine? Any idea?
I don't know.
It makes it go faster. It makes the engine produce more power.
Well, yeah.
So we're always careful how we use that. We squeeze it on and ease it off. It's not like an on-off switch. Next one along, any idea what that is?
A, B, C.
Yep.
Brake.
That's it. Just go slower pedal. The harder you press it, the harder the brakes come on. So what we want to do is to press it gently and progressively. So we start braking gently and then a bit more. So we're building the pressure up. Yeah. And you can feel it's quite firm. When the engine starts, you get what's called vacuum assist, which makes the brakes work a little bit more efficiently. And the left one, you've used the correct feet with those. What's that one? Remember?
Oh, so we've to use that for that and...
Yep.
Oh, right,
you did it right, so I assume you knew.
Yeah, I didn't know. Just natural. And clutch.
Yep. So what do we use that for?
When you're changing gear.
We do. Anything else?
When you brake?
No. When we're moving off and stopping.
Right.
So we'll get used to those as we come to use them.
Right, yeah.
Go on. What
I thought you had to put your clutch in when you brake, but that's just...
You need to put your clutch in just before you stop.
Right.
Because what it's doing is, do you know what the clutch does?
Not really.
It's the link between the engine and the wheels. Really, it goes in between your engine and gearbox. So whilst the clutch is up, the power from the engine can get through. When the clutch is down, it can't.
Oh, you did it.
That's me doing it. You feel the pedal go away. So if I use them, you'll know. If you put your foot on the brake, see, if I use it, you can feel it straight away.
Yeah.
If I do use the dual controls, I'll always tell you I've done it, and I'll tell you why I've done it.
Okay.
The only other thing I might need to do from a dual control point of view is to move the steering. So if I go to move it, just let me.
Yeah.
Just come out the way.
Yeah.
It's unusual, but sometimes I might need to put a full turn on the steering. So, if I do catch it, it'll be accidental. So, back to the clutch. It's the link between the engine and the gearbox. So while that's down, none of the engine's power can get through. When it's up, it can all get through.
Right.
The gearbox, do you know what we do with that? Oops.
Higher gear when you go faster.
Yeah, exactly right. So the lower the number, the less power. So we use first, it's got more, the less speed. The first gear is all power and no speed. So we use that for moving away to get the weight of the car started. Fifth gear is all speed and no power. So it won't climb hills in fifth gear, for example.
Right.
So you maybe need to go down a gear. So we always match the gear to the speed that we're doing. So if we're slowing down for a junction, we use the brake to slow to the speed that we're going to do. And then we select the gear that's appropriate. More of that when we come to do basic junctions. But do you know how to check if it's in neutral? That's it. Wiggle side to side. If it's in gear, try it now.
It won't wiggle.
So you can tell straight away. Now, it's got a spring on it that puts it in front of third and fourth if you let go of it. If you take it into neutral in any gear, it'll go back there. So to go for first and second, push it that way. For third and fourth, just for fifth, you need to push that way.
Would I ever have to go, don't this need to be down while I'm doing that?
When the engine's on, yes.
Right. Because would I ever have to go from like fifth to like second?
Maybe. So if we're doing, 60 miles an hour down this road, and we were going to turn left, see where all those trees go down. There's a junction there. If we were turning left there, you'd slow the car down probably to about 10 miles an hour, and then just straight into second and go around the corner. You wouldn't bother going 4 and 3.
Right, okay. Because I thought you had
people.
to do, like, if you were going up a gear and stuff. Not
well,
really.
What we generally do is we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And coming back down, we can miss gears out. We just slow to the speed that we're going to negotiate whatever the hazard is, and then select the gear that's appropriate for that speed.
Right, okay.
But if you were doing, say, a bend and you were going to go around it at 40, you might just take fourth gear. If you're going down to 20, you might take third. 10, you'd take second. If you're coming almost to a stop, you'd go into first.
Would this just come in?
You'll get the feel of it once we do it.
Right.
You can generally tell, the car will tell you If you're in too high a gear and it wants to go, it'll be like...
Yeah.
If you're in too high a gear and it wants to go down, it'll be like... You're juddering. But you'll get the feel of that as we go along. So, do you want to have a play around with it and see, putting it in... Stick the clutch down, it makes it a little easier to go in. So let's get used to putting it... And then try second, third, fourth, fifth. That's cool. Go try putting it in reverse. Well done. You knew about that. Cool. Try again. Back into first.
My dad's got a course, so I've seen him do it.
There you go. That's very good. How do you know about that? So take it back to neutral. And let's play around with the gears, but this time do it looking out the window. So first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. It's cool. Try fifth to second. Second to fourth. Cool. Back to neutral.
Is that in?
It is.
God.
So, if you're ever not sure, you think, is that right? Take it back to neutral.
Right.
That'll always take you in front of third and fourth. So
Right,
that's always
yeah.
a reference point. Now,
But
when
not
it
all
comes,
cars are like that.
no.
Right.
Well, the 4 is not nearly always the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. Some have 5 gears, some have 6. Reverse is sometimes at different places. On mine, it's along and down that way.
I'm hoping to get a Corsa anyway.
They're all splendid. They're a good little car. They're all right. They're a good. I mean, this is a smashing little car. It's obviously I drive the Sports Fiesta, so this feels a little gutless to me, but it's brilliant for learning to drive in. This is a 1.2 petrol. Mine's a 1.6 sports diesel, so it's a bit quicker. But we want to use this one because it's got the sunroof to let the light in for the video.
Right, yeah.
So, any idea what this is?
Handbrake.
Know how to use it?
Probably, I think I do,
Well,
but
go on then.
probably
I'll
not.
put my foot on the brake to hold us still, let the handbrake off, and then put it on. Cool. So you can feel a bit of a pressure. You do. If you don't, it goes like you hear everybody going. Now, any idea why you wouldn't do that?
Wouldn't it wear something down?
It does. The mechanism that holds the brake on gets worn by that. So the last thing you want is that coming off. So you can feel there's a bit of pressure there. So to put it on, just feel a reasonable pressure. We'll get the feel of it again. The more we do it, the more you'll get the feel of that. And the other hand signals, indicators at this side. So if you wanted to indicate right, any idea which way you'd go?
That's left.
It is.
I'm really bad for left.
Sorry?
Yeah.
So on this one, what we try and do is keep our hand on the wheel and do it. If you flick it just a touch, we'll see when you put the ignition on.
So I want him to go right.
If you're going right, you'll just push it up.
Yeah. I don't want to do
To
it
go
though,
left,
so-
not right now, but to go left, you'd push it down. On the other side, the windscreen wipers, can you work out from the diagram what?
No.
That's it. It won't go on at the minute because the ignition's not on. And then the washers, any idea? If you have a look on the top of the thing here,
Do you twist this or
pull back towards you for the front ones and push it away from you for the back washer. The back wiper.
For the...
The jets of water that come out.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
And then that's just to... It just don't stay in it, that's all. Will it?
Well, you flick it once and it's intermittent. You flick it a second time, it goes faster. Third time, it goes faster again.
Okay, so these are probably going to come on when I turn engine.
Possibly, but that's all right. Any questions? Does that all make sense?
It does make sense, yeah.
It's dead easy, isn't it?
No.
So, the thing to do is when you're looking at the quiz, if you look at the question and think, what? What does that mean? Just flag it. Just write it down in your book. We'll come across it later. So
this is the bit I did. This is why I think I know a bit more
yeah.
when it comes to accelerating that, because I did this before. So I know.
There you go. Jobs are good. Have a key. So, first thing we do when we get in the car, we make sure the handbrake's on. Well, we knew that because I put it on. Make sure it's in neutral. Do your cockpit drill. That takes us to where we are now. We need to turn the ignition on, which is where you put the key in and turn it just till the lights come on. Now, take note of what happens to the lights. There's some orange ones and some red ones. That's it. Watch what happens to the orange ones. Some of them go out. That's the computer management system doing a self-check. So those lights come on, that tells you the lights are working. And then they go off, that tells you the systems that they're representing are fine. So they're okay. Now we've got 4 lights left, haven't we? 3 red and a yellow. The one on that side is your brake warning light. So if there's something wrong with your braking system, that light will come on. Or if the handbrake's on.
Yeah.
So if that light's on, first thing to check is the handbrake right off? If it's still on and the handbrake's off, there's something wrong with your brakes. You need to get that checked out. You never drive a car with a red light on.
Right. Okay.
That means danger. You need to stop and get it checked straight away. Any idea what these two red lights mean?
Just from the picture?
Yeah, go on.
Is that something about oil?
It is. Engine oil though. What about the one next to it?
Battery.
Yep, something wrong with your battery or the charging system. If they came on while you were driving, you must stop straight away, especially the one on the left, the oil one, because that's in danger of breaking your engine. Any idea what the yellow one is above it?
Engine.
It is. It is. Nikki, who I did this morning, said it looks like a tap. And I've never noticed before, but it does.
Oh, just a little bit.
When the engine starts, those three should go out. If they stay on, there's something the matter with the car.
Is that your like engine warning light? Then?
It is. It's your engine management system. So
Right.
there's something wrong with the carbon filters, or you would need to take that to a garage and have it checked straight away. So, any idea what we do before we start the engine?
Do you not put it into gear?
Nope. We go handbrake. We're in neutral. We can start the engine at this point. So if you just turn the key away,
Is it a bit too steamy?
it'll de-steam when we start.
Okay.
So just turn the key away until the engine starts.
Is
and
it's
then
not
let
going
go.
to stall it or anything?
Nope.
Okay.
Nothing like. And you see that light will go out in a second. That's
Yeah.
it. Everything's working.
We're fine.
Only light that's left on
Is the handbrake?
is that one, so we can check that by putting the foot brake on, so we know everything's all right.
Yeah.
There is an extra check that I like to do, which I've already done with this car today. So that tells me that the braking systems and everything are working okay. But I want to be doubly sure, so I do what's called a running brake check. Once the car's moving, I'll make sure there's nobody behind, and I'll brake reasonably firmly and make sure that it stays in a straight line.
Right.
That tells me that everything's okay and that the brakes actually work. I don't want to find out that they don't work the first time I use them in anger. So as you can see, I've got the demister on already.
Right, okay.
It's pointing up towards the windscreen, and I've got it just on number 1, so as you can see it's good. Do you want to have a play around so you can find out where the windscreen washers and wipers are? I'm going to try and wash the windscreen. There we go. Check the back one. If you push it away from you, wash and wipe it.
Will those stay on?
The back one will go off. These ones will stay on until you take it down and click. Other way.
Other way? Down?
Click it down, yeah.
Oh,
Takes it to a slow speed.
right.
Down one more, take it off. Actually, that'll probably put it on intermittent, so it'll only wipe every few seconds.
Is that what we're wanting because it's raining?
Yes, but if we need it any more, we can just flick it up a little bit.
So this is the one that's going to be doing it every couple of minutes?
Should be. Take it up one click.
Why did you turn the whole thing
I think
off?
you did, yeah. Just, do you feel it go click? That's it. That's the one. So first is intermittent, second is slow speed, the other one's fast speed. So,
These aren't important, are they?
these are the radio controls.
Well, I'm not
So that's the volume that changes the station and the various bits and pieces that are on there. It's designed so that you're not distracted by the radio. To be honest, if you're fiddling with that, you're not concentrating on driving.
Yeah.
And people do it all the time. And there's an awful lot of accidents happen with people messing with stereos and sat-navs and all that kind of stuff. Because we get very blasé about it and we think, it'll be alright, we'll be safe, but then it goes wrong. So, can you remember what the procedure is to move off?
Let me just think, because I remember
Alright,
it from
take
the
your
workbook. Do I put my clutch in?
You do, but it's in 3 bits. Prepare, observe, move.
Right.
So preparation is, you would put your clutch down, as you quite rightly said. Then what? Yep,
Put it in gear.
you do. I was going to say which gear do you need, but you've already selected the right one. What comes next, you
Just
remember?
put my foot on the accelerator.
We want the
don't-
engine a lively hum. Brum. Have a play with it.
Like that.
That's it. Maybe a little bit more. Go on, a bit more. Don't be scared of it. A bit more. That's about it.
Oh, let's see, I can't get it in
A
right.
guide can be between 10 and 20. That's about it there. Now, what I'd like you to do is to slowly lift the clutch up until you
See,
feel
it
or
keeps
hear
going
something
faster,
different.
I can't really stay still. I don't stay still.
There you go. So if you lift the clutch up slowly until you feel or hear something different.
I need to take that off though?
Not yet.
Alright.
Let's get the feel of the clutch first. Tell me when you feel or hear something different. That's what we call the binding point. There's enough power going through there to hold you still. So So that's us prepared.
Is this it, where I can feel?
It is. Where do you feel? You feel it through your foot? Like a bit of vibration? Or...
I can feel it where I'm sat.
Okay,
Like.
fine. So we've prepared, we now need to observe. Do you remember what that was?
Check.
So where are we going to check?
Blind spots.
Yep. Make sure there's nobody about. And then we decide, do we need a signal? What is anybody about?
Well, yeah, there's someone coming.
Okay, should we put a signal on, do you think?
I would say let's put it on.
Go on then.
Right,
Yep.
like that.
And then we're getting ready, so hand to the handbrake. Final observations. Let the handbrake go. And gently bring the clutch up. That's okay. Handbrake, into neutral.
I'm sorry.
It's alright, don't worry about it. We'll cancel the signal. Take a deep breath. Start the engine again. What do you think happened there?
I didn't put enough revs on.
Well, it could be either way. Either maybe not quite enough revs, or maybe the clutch came up a bit quick. Doesn't really matter.
See, this is a new. I'm going to struggle with this next.
Nah, you've just got it wrong once. We're not struggling, trust me. So, what we'll do is start the engine. We'll take a deep breath, always, after we stall, as always. Handbrake neutral, start the engine. So, what we can do here is, if I might make a suggestion, I can take care of all the observation and the other bits and pieces if you want to just focus on the foot stuff.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So
Sound
I
like
need
a
to
plan?
put my clutch in.
You do?
1.
That's it.
Put the end between 1 and 2.
That's it. And then bring it back the way you had it before. I've done the observation bit, so we're okay. So once you get to the bite, just let go of the handbrake.
Do I need to signal?
Nope, we're okay there. I'll take care of that bit. That's good.
I can feel it now.
Cool. Let go of the handbrake. Keep your feet still. That's it, let the handbrake go. So what's happening there is we're just bringing the clutch up a little bit too much.
I'm sorry.
There's nothing to apologise for. Handbrake neutral, start the engine, deep breath.
This is going to take ages.
It's
Right.
not one. There's a little exercise we might be able to do here that I think might help you.
Right.
So if you want to put the clutch down into first, now hold everything still there.
Yeah.
I'll let go of the handbrake. I've got a hold of the car on the brake here.
Yeah.
No gas. Just bring your clutch up until you feel something different. And down a bit. Now then. Down a bit. Down a bit. Right. Just using your left foot, bring it up about that much and hold it still. The car will just creep. Take it down a little bit till it stops. Up a little bit till it moves. Down a bit till it stops. So you only need teeny tiny movements. Up a bit till it moves. We're just getting the feel of it. So if you can do this, you can do anything. And then bring it to a stop. Up a teeny bit. So just make it go forward, stop, forward, stop, forward, stop, forward, stop. Just so you get a proper feel of it. Excellent. How's that feel? Now if you can control the car at this speed, with no gas on at all, that's good clutch control. So who's in control? The car or you?
Me.
Ta-da! Then again, bring it to a stop. Now then you've got just the right amount of clutch up there to hold the car still.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll put a little bit, holding your left foot still, we'll put a little bit of gas on. A little bit more. Won't go anywhere because you're on the bite. And then all you need to do is bring the clutch up about that much and hold it still. I've done all the observation, we're safe to go. So bring it up about less than the thickness of a 10 pp's.
Yeah, I'm still moving it. It's not
That's
doing
okay,
anything.
good.
I'm not going to crash into it.
No.
I'm still moving it. It's really slowly.
That's fine.
I keep putting my gas on and then take the clutch off.
That's it. And then just lift your left foot gently off the clutch.
Keep going on with the gas.
That's it. And it'll gradually pick speed up. And what we're going to do, how's that?
Scary.
Easy, bloomin' peasy. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come to a stop on the left. You've taken yourself nicely out of the normal driving position, so we check. We don't need a signal because there's nobody about. So your foot comes off the gas and over the brake.
Brake?
Yep. Just gently squeeze it and push the clutch down to the floor.
Oh, I stalled it then, didn't I?
No. Oh. Handbrake, and then into neutral. And relax.
Oh.
It's not as hard as you think, but there's a lot of things to think about.
It's just quite...
So this is why I said to you before, I'll take care of all the rest, let's just focus on that. Whereas, you know, in traditional instruction, you'd be expected to do it all. Well, the most important bit is that one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So, do you want to try that again?
Yeah.
We want to do it until you feel comfortable.
God.
So what are we looking for from this attempt? What do we want to, how are we going to measure if it's success? Okay. How are we going to manage that?
I want to do it properly.
Okay.
I don't want to do the clutch bit first. I think I'll be alright with that.
I think you will
just be slow and not be too quick when it comes to taking my foot off.
That's the key. Just give yourself as much time as is humanly possible. Do you want to take care of the observations and stuff, or do you want me to do that?
I'm alright, I think.
Okay, fair enough.
So I'll get that point first.
Okay.
Because I'd be moving now if it won't foot brake on, wouldn't I? Because my foot's off the clutch.
You would just, you're quite right. But do you want to let the handbrake off and see what happens? And then again, we'll pull up and stop on the left. Check out mirrors. Do we need a signal this time, you think?
Yeah.
Okay, stick the signal on. And just gently brake, and just before you stop, push the clutch to the floor.
Oop. I braked a little bit too.
That's okay. Doesn't make any difference to him because you can see where we're stopping anyway. How was that? In terms of, you wanted to be smooth and you didn't want to stall. Did we manage that?
I was smooth.
Mm-hmm. Did you stall?
No.
Well, who did that?
Who did that?
Did I help you?
No.
So, was that successful?
It was.
Maybe so. So, if we have another go, what do you want out of this one?
Should we change gear?
Okay.
Or is that too...
Yeah. So
let's practice that bit first because
okay.
I don't want to... Right.
So, when we came to a stop, what happened?
Engine's so quiet, but it's on, isn't it?
No.
Oh.
It did stall.
Did it?
Do you know why?
When I braked?
We braked and we didn't push the clutch down.
So when... Because I thought you said... Right, so we put the clutch in and then brake.
No, we brake, but just before the car stops, you put the clutch down.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
I think
I
didn't explain that properly. So start
no,
engine.
it's not. It's me not listening. Okay.
Well, I'm really happy you're prepared to take the blame. Nobody's to blame. All that's happened is we found a way that didn't quite work, but we found a perfect way of getting pull away. So how about we do a little work on when we come to a stop this time?
Yeah.
Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do
Put
when we come to a stop?
the... Oh, when we come to the stop,
Yeah.
brake, and then just before we fully brake, put the clutch in.
That's it.
Just remembering that. Right, so I need to
It's
put
only
the
the first
clutch in.
couple of
I'd
times
rather
you've done
talk about it while I'm doing it so I know.
Feel free. Feel free.
So, putting clutch in.
I'm not laughing.
I'm putting the clutch in.
Okay.
First gear.
Yep.
Hand on the handbrake.
Yep.
Ready. Pull slightly off the clutch until I get that point and then put the revs on. Yeah?
You can do it the other way around. You can rev the engine and then bring it to the point. Doesn't really matter. Does that feel right?
It does.
And final observations. Just a little quick.
Oop.
Just a tad quick. So it might help you. Deep breath. Remember what we said a little while ago? Nobody's born able to drive. everybody has to learn this stuff.
Yeah.
And everybody has the same trouble with clutch control.
Right.
Once you get it, you think, well, what was I worried about? But the key thing is not to be scared to make mistakes, because it just doesn't matter. You just made a mistake.
Yeah.
Person who can't make a mistake can't make anything. So start the engine, deep breath. If you wouldn't mind me making a suggestion,
Okay.
slow everything down. Take loads more time. We're not in a hurry, are we? Take as much time as you want. It's better to get it right than to hurry it and then nail the skill down. Because remember, that's what we're doing. We're building kind of muscle memory, really, if you like.
It is, isn't it?
It is. On you go when you're ready.
I'm going to try what you said.
Okay.
Is it easier that way, do you find it?
It's less likely to stall.
If I put the,
Put the gas on, then find the bike, yeah. We just did the other exercise for fine control.
So if I leave it around about there.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah?
Yep.
And then find that point, handbrake off.
That's the one.
Is it going, am I going too quick when moving it off there?
No.
Just trying to find them.
That feel about right?
Yeah.
Hold everything still. So what happened there is...
too quick, didn't I?
Yep. Have a think about the clutch is letting the power through. If you let all the power through at once, it can't take it because it's trying to shift too much weight.
Is there no easier way than doing it, you know, by holding your clutch like? Because I feel like I'm doing it like that, do you know what I mean?
Well, if you can put your foot on the floor and do that. If you see, my feet are big enough. I'm like Coke with a climb.
Mine were not tiny feet, I don't know. That would be probably easier than me trying to, because I'm doing it like that, do you know what I mean?
Well, let's try it a different way and see if it helps. All
do you
that
think
matters
I'm
is
too tall for it, or is it just not, you know, like now, should I be close to the ground?
Do you think it would help? Well, there's one way of finding out, isn't it? Let's try that.
I think it's just because I've got little feet.
You do have little
That
feet.
I've got to go
well,
like
you look
that,
compared
do you know
to mine.
what I mean? Because yeah, you've just got to put like, you've
I
just
can
got to
put my
your
toes
thing
on the
in
clutch
and go
from
like
back
that,
here.
Yeah.
What it's about is its movements of about this much. But when you move it and you let some power through, you've got to give it a little bit of time to kind of bite in before you let any more through. If you try and let too much up all at once, it kind of goes a bit.
It's got to be fully in, and then I can
Gotta be
like, let
fully
it
in,
go like that.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, but I've still got to bring my foot. That's what I think I'm having trouble with. As soon as my foot comes off that, do you know what I mean? Like off the floor, then I've got to sort of do it like that, and it's that's
Right.
what.
Would it help maybe to start off with your foot off the floor? So not put your heel right the way down. So you've got it that way all the way up. Does that make a difference or not, do you think?
It might do.
Well, there's an easy way to do it. Why don't we try it all different ways and see which one suits you best?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Like that. So it's just completely off.
But nothing to worry about. What's the worst that can happen?
Nothing, because you're winning.
Nobody's going to die.
No one's going to do.
Well, not yet, anyway.
Right, so keep the clutch in, put my gear in.
Yep.
I'm going to put the revs on now.
It's just getting the feel of it.
We're alright now, aren't we?
Yep. Well, yeah. When you think you've got it, let the handbrake go and keep everything perfectly still.
So,
Hold your feet still at that point. Push the clutch down a teeny bit. Just down a little bit more. Just there.
so we're keeping that clutch in?
Yeah. Well, until we get the. I've got a hold of us there now. So you had it bang on there, but as we were letting the handbrake go, you started to let the clutch up, and it's one's fighting against the other.
So Let.
Go on, handbrake on and neutral. And relax and I'll give you it back then. So, go on.
So when we're setting off, putting the clutch in, and then this is my feet.
Clutch in breaks the link, so the power doesn't get to the wheels.
So I'm putting it on like that, and I'm just slowly letting that off. When I'm setting off, by leaving my foot like, so we're both same, like that. I've got to keep that on, I don't let go.
Well, there's 2 stages. There's what we call the biting point.
Yeah.
That's where there's enough power through to hold the car still.
Yeah.
And then there's what we call the driving point. That's where you start to get the power onto the road and the car moves. So you want to release that power very slowly. So you just lift it. Once you're at the bite, in fact, I tell you what, if you just set the gas for me, I'll see if I can show you what I mean. So I'll bring that there. You feel that bite in? There's enough power to hold the car still.
Yeah.
If I lift it a teeny bit and hold it still, we start to move. Take it down again, we stop. So I'm only lifting it that much. But if I lift it to there, we gradually, I'm holding my foot still there, we gradually start to build speed. I am. Now that we're moving, I can let that all the way up. But it is just that gentle easing. You've got to allow the power time to get through, if that makes sense.
Are we stopping now?
Yeah. Oh. I've got you.
I didn't know you were doing it.
We'll go handbrake neutral, and then I'll give control back to you. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Feel free to say no if it didn't.
It did, but it's getting set off enough to then just say.
Okay. Well, I think maybe if we think of it in 2 stages, get ready, get moving.
Right.
And as long as we think about letting the power through slowly. So let's go to get ready first. See if this helps. Put your life in my hands. So getting ready is set the gas, find the bite, handbrake off, and we should stand still. That's our prepare. Feel about right? Can you feel it just straining to go?
It's wanting to go.
Yeah, take it down a teeny bit. That feels about right there. How does that feel to you?
What was this? Is this the biting point?
So if I let go of the handbrake, the car should stand still. So we're up just a teeny bit too much.
So it should, if you let go now, it should.
That sounds about right. So that's us prepared to make the car go, lift it up that much and hold it still. So just up a teeny bit and then hold it still, and we'll just start to pick up speed. Nobody about, we're okay to go. So
Like
about the thickness of a pound coin.
Like that.
And hold it still there. Count to 4, 2, 3, 4, bring it up. How was that?
And I'm moving.
Yay! So what
Now
we'll do
to
is,
stop
we'll come to
now.
a stop, yeah. So your right foot comes off the gas, and just gently brake, and then just before you stop, push the clutch all the way down the floor. Just about now. Right the way down.
Right, I've got my brake
Clutch
on.
right the way down.
Clutch it.
Nearly. So what happened there was, we were still trying to let the power through to the wheels and bring the car to a stop. So you gently brake to a stop, and just before you stop, the clutch goes all the way down. So we brake the link.
That's the bit.
It's all right. Let's look at it in 2 parts. Move off, stop. How was the move off?
Better.
Okay, if I was to ask you to mark it at 1 to 10, where 1 was absolutely rubbish and 10 was the best anybody's ever done it, where would you put yourself?
2.
Okay, what would it take to get that to a higher number?
Practice.
Okay, so what do you think
Do you
we
think
should
I can get closer?
do? You can do whatever you like.
I can't even get any closer. I just know if my foot were comfortable enough,
Okay.
the clutch would be a lot. My clutch control would be better if my foot weren't. You know what I mean?
You've got to be comfy.
I am comfy.
Well, in terms of controlling the speed of the car and controlling the speed of pull away,
it'd be easier
very
just to do.
difficult for you to do that any smoother than you just did it, I think. What do you reckon? Well, if I'd had a cup of coffee stood on there, it wouldn't have spilt. But it would when we stopped.
Right. That's what I need to
It's
do.
all just practice. Nobody's born with clutch control, you know. Nobody. I don't care what anybody tells
I feel
you.
like I'm.
Once you've got it, you've got it. Have a think about when you started at the job centre. How long was it before you got good at that?
2 weeks.
Not 2 minutes.
No.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So it's Well, we'll have another go. What do you want out of this one? What would be ideal for you?
Just want to be able to do that.
Okay.
Clutch. Know where.
Is there anything I can do to help you?
No, not really. I think you've told me everything.
Well, should we just have a few goes?
Practicing and keep going, and I'm really sorry.
What are you sorry for?
Because I'm taking ages to do it.
It takes as long as it takes. This is the key thing. It's what we've got to try and do. And I appreciate it's frustrating for you because you're thinking that you should be doing better. That's what I'm getting from this. But who says? Who says? Who learns at what pace?
True.
All that matters is that we're happy that we're getting better each time. Do you think you're getting better each time?
Do you think I am?
I think you are, yeah.
And
I'm not worried at all. Key thing all the time, hammer neutral, deep breath, just clear our head, have a think about what we want to do, instead about trying to do it. The key thing I think is if you allow yourself more time, just do everything slow. Once you've got the technique, you can put as much speed on it as you like.
It's just that. Is this the hardest bit, do you find people have struggled with most?
Clutch control, it's always the same. But bear in mind, of course, that you've spent probably a bit of time in cars pulling away and stopping with somebody who maybe... How old's your boyfriend?
He doesn't even drive.
Oh, right. Well, who do you spend time driving with?
My sisters.
Right. Do they drive quick?
Yeah. Do.
You will too, but not yet. So you've got to learn to walk before you can run.
To just do it like second nature.
Like they've not put any effort in.
Yeah.
Trust me, they had to put the same effort in that you're putting in. And it seems hard, and you look at it, you think, I'll never get this, I'll never get this. And I promise you, in 2 weeks' time, you're going to look at this and think, well, what was I worried about?
I hope so.
But it's easy to say that for me, because I know that's what's going to happen. And I've seen so many people, I've seen people who've been told they should drive automatics, and that they're never going to be able to do it, and all it takes is just spending a bit of time trying to find out exactly what the issue is, trying to find a fix for it, and then just applying that fix until it's fixed.
It's really close.
It does, doesn't it? Just like, breathe in. So whenever you're ready, well, I'm going to go. Is there anything else I can do to help you, do you think? Or should we just practice it a few days?
Just keep practicing.
Knock yourself
That's
out.
the car my sister's got.
Oh.
A little thing.
Is it a
Oh no, actually.
What was that, a
it's
Chevrolet?
It's a Cinquecento. Really.
Oh, yeah, she said you got it.
Them.
Cinquecento.
They've both got the same.
You have to do the finger gesture. Fiat Cinquecento. You have to do that.
Right.
Enough of this frivolity. Whenever
So,
you're ready.
Engine's on.
It is.
Clutch is in. Gears on. Hands on the handbrake.
Yep. 2 positions. Ready and go.
See, would you say keep it between 1 and 2?
There and thereabouts.
Just however I feel comfortable.
Absolutely right.
I'm just checking the numbers. Shall I signal?
What do you reckon? Would it help? Good. So, guy behind he's getting close now. Are we going to go before he comes or after?
After.
That's what we need to say. So when you tap the signal, it flashes 3 times. You have to push it up to make it go on all the time.
Oh.
But we don't need it now. Think smooth thoughts.
I think at that point the car wouldn't move.
Let the handbrake go, see what happens. You were bang on. How's about that?
And then if I just slightly move it,
Go on then.
I'm going to move.
Do what you think.
Yeah. Just pick up speed. Am I going too fast?
Yeah, fine.
And then I can take it off now, can't I?
You can. Then what we'll do is we'll pull up on the left. So check our mirror. Do we need a signal?
Yep. I take my hand up.
So both hands on the wheel.
Brake
Right, brake the clutch. Clutch
slightly.
right the way down. Keep your feet still. Handbrake you. So, if I ask you to rate that move off, what would you say?
It's a little better. 3.
Okay. What would it take to get a higher score?
Just more practice.
Bit more practice.
Yeah.
Let's do that then.
Right, so
Do
I
you want me to help
installed
you?
it. Oh my god.
You haven't, and the clutch went down. So, do you need any help from me, or do you want to just...
Just keep practicing.
Okay, I'll just shut up and help you if it's going wrong. How's that?
Why did she flash?
Lord alone knows.
Just leave me alone. I think it'd be better if they want so many cars about. I feel like I'm going to crash into everybody.
It's suddenly got busy, isn't it? And there's me
Right.
telling you this really quiet road is.
I'm not going to get too confident with it either. If I get however many right, I'm still going to... Okay, I don't think it'll move. There. Take the foot off now.
So if I was to ask you the question, and we're only talking about smoothness here,
Yeah.
out of 10, how was that?
5.
Okay.
That were a bit jerky.
It's okay. So how was that?
Better.
What could you improve about the pull away?
Pull away. To not have it on riding clutch, like I'm on clutch out and I shouldn't be. I shouldn't.
Well, no, you need to ride the clutch to get it to pull away. Once you're moving, you take your foot off, and you did.
Oh, right. What do you think?
You want to know how I would rate the pull away? I'd rate that a 10. Because you did it as smooth as I can.
Oh my god.
I took care of the observations just at the last bit, but the bits that you were controlling, honestly, and I'm not just saying it, I cannot see how you would improve it. It was ultra smooth. Was there any jerks or bumps?
Do you want me to stop?
When you said, I only talking about the pull away now. Was there any jerks or bumps? Was the engine
No.
making awful noises? Did the car seem like it was complaining?
No.
Difficult to see how you could improve on that, to be honest. Just on the pull away, the observations we could add. How about the stop? Did we stall?
No.
Did we check our mirrors properly
When I stopped.
as you were pulling up before you?
Oh yeah.
Did we signal properly?
Yeah.
Did we come to a stop?
Yeah.
Did we stall?
No.
How else you might improve?
Yeah.
What?
I think it's probably going to be easier me stopping when I'm not doing like 2 miles an hour.
Maybe.
That's just me. I think it would probably be easy because as soon as I take my foot off the accelerator and put it on my brake, I've literally got to be that quick.
Well, what happens is I'm more than happy with everything you've done there. Everything you've done. The only thing I would say that we could maybe work on is getting rid of that little. What's his issue?
Plenty of room.
It's a big wide road. We're tucked in. We're not in his way. Idiots. We'll get that little jerk as we stop. What's happening is when you brake, the weight of the car gets thrown forward. If you keep the brake on the same amount, you get that jerk as you stop. Just before we stop, if you just ease the pressure off the brake, it just unloads the springs and it comes in a little gentler. So we start by braking, but as we're coming to a stop, you can just ease the pressure off. Because you need more braking when you're going faster and less when you're going slower. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Should we have another go?
Yeah.
What do you want to improve this time?
My brake.
Onwards and upwards.
I'm just waiting for him to come back.
Fine. Come on then. Have the courage of your convictions.
Oh, we're slightly moving.
Just.
I'm gonna start.
So I think squeeze and ease. Loads of time.
I think probably clutching early enough with that.
Smoother than last time, though, isn't it? That's what we're hoping for. So you're right. If you put the clutch a little earlier, it might help. I think what might be happening is you're pushing the clutch in quick there because we did it there. It forces you to press the brake a little bit.
Yeah.
So maybe think about doing it just a teeny bit earlier.
Do it at the same time. Like,
Well,
can I have my foot on each like that,
can.
and then
Well, what as you're coming
brake,
up, brake
them off a little bit,
and just gently down.
gently.
I think the key thing always is don't forget that we're coming to a stop. We've signalled. People know what we're doing. If it takes you another 3 or 4 foot to stop, it doesn't really matter, does it?
No.
It's only an issue when we're stopping at a give way and that sort of stuff. What do we want to do now? One other go?
Yeah.
What we're working on this time?
Braking again. I think I'm still practicing with the setting off, but I think I'm.
Well, we'll be practicing setting off every time you move away now.
Yeah.
And eventually it'll get to the point where you're not even thinking about it. But that takes time. Give yourself more time. What do you reckon?
5.
What would it take to get a higher score?
Practicing it? I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
What do you think I did?
Well, it's difficult because it then means that I'm going to contradict what you said. What was wrong with it? We're looking for smooth control. Let's have a look. What does the target say? Oh, I just don't know because I can't reach it. Let's see what the target for this lesson says. This is what we expect people to be able to do at the end of this. Let them leave the car safely. Cockpit drill, you close the driver's door and you can check all the other doors are closed. You adjust your seat as required. You adjust the steering wheel as required. You adjust all the mirrors correctly. You put your seatbelt on correctly. You can locate and explain the use of the main hand and foot controls. Can we do that?
Mm-hmm.
When preparing to move off from the side of the road, I can select first gear and find the biting point. Did you do that?
Yeah.
Did you do that with help or without help?
I've done it on my own and I like it.
Well, you've done it on your own the last few times, I think, haven't you? Do you check all the mirrors effectively?
Try to.
Mm-hmm. Check the relevant blind spots effectively.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you signal if necessary? Do you release the handbrake? Do you coordinate the clutch and gas pedals?
Yeah.
And do you take up a normal driving position?
What's that?
That's where you've done it without me telling you about it.
Oh.
You know, you're parking up, and then when you pull away, you move it out in the middle of the
Oh,
lane.
right, yeah.
So you've done that without me even telling you.
It's common sense, isn't
When
it?
you put, well, yeah, it is. When you pull up on the left-hand side, you check all your mirrors effectively. Do you signal when necessary? Do you use the foot brake and clutch correctly?
Yeah.
And do you secure the car after you've stopped? Put the handbrake in neutral.
Yeah.
Okay. So we said at the start, didn't we, that this was a reasonable set of targets.
Yeah.
Do you think you've met those targets?
Yeah. God, I haven't.
So is that progress?
It is, yeah.
I know it doesn't always feel like it is because you look at other people driving, it looks so easy.
Yeah.
And you're doing it and you're thinking, God, there's such a lot to do.
It is.
But everybody else is doing the same thing. They just get to the point where they're not even thinking about it anymore.
Yeah.
So I maybe should have done that a little bit earlier. We just, well, let's have a look at the targets and see where we are. Because we said that, if I'd said to you before we started, would you be happy if we covered all of that? You'd have probably said, yeah. So, we've covered all of that. Are you happy?
Yeah.
Excellent. Do you want to have a few more goes just to nail it down?
Yeah.
Or do you want...
nail it, God. Yeah.
Well, you see, this is always the difficult thing, you know. In terms of this coaching thing, if I get you to score it, and you say a 5, inside, I'm thinking, well, that's better than a 5. But it's no good me saying to you, well, no, it's not a 5, because then I've contradicted you. And where's the point in asking your opinion if I'm going to tell you you're wrong?
Yeah.
But it does create a difficulty when I'm sat there thinking, well, I kind of see how you would improve it. And then I ask you, how would you improve it? You just say, well, just practice.
I think it's different as well when you're doing it and someone watching you do it as well.
Of course it is.
A lot different. 'Cause you could see that I'm doing it perfectly, but I'm like, don't know if I am.
Easiest thing in the world is a learner driver to think, oh, I'm sure everybody else is better than this. They're not.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Well, they're not. Well, if you have a look, that's our tasks. But you're comparing yourself to who? An experienced driver.
Yeah.
So how many pullaways and stops do you think your sisters have done?
A lot.
How many have you done?
Like
Half
3.
a dozen?
Right.
Idiot.
If I knew where to be button more, I could get the beat back. No, because I'd be inappropriately using my beep.
Inappropriate use of the hot, it would. That's it. Well, the real issue is that we're not in anybody's way. It's a big wide old road and you can see for miles ahead and behind.
And he's a lot more experienced.
Correct. Bless the cotton socks.
Everybody had to drive at one point though. This
Correct.
is what I can't stand.
How was that?
Can I do another one?
Of course you can, but how was that one?
Right, a little bit. I feel a bit more. Once after you do it a couple of times, you do feel better, don't you? You do feel
Well, it's like anything, isn't it? It's
practice makes perfect, doesn't it?
well, it's not a saying for no reason, is it? Do we need to say, well, what do you think? Are we going to go before him or after him?
I'm going to go after him.
Okay, well, we can sit tight, can't we? Just wait and see what he's going to do. What do you think he's up to?
He's waiting for my car to go.
Correct. And you just know he's going to go shooting past, he's not going to wait and see.
Yeah. I could do with signalling now because there's a lorry behind me.
Oh, okay.
Just get to that point where I think it's not going to move. Yeah?
Yep.
Keep my legs on clear, don't forget about those. Do you think I'm going a bit fast?
No. Does it feel under control?
I feel under control.
Let's find a convenient place to pull over. Well done. Under a bit of pressure that time. Wagon behind, bus coming towards you.
Oh, don't worry about that.
So how did that feel?
There.
Well, it's smooth, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's to get it smooth is the hardest thing. It's the easiest thing in the world to stall or to get it
Yeah.
But these skills take a while to, if you like, to bed in. You know, I've said it a few times. Nobody's born able to drive. It takes time and it takes practice. Like I say, in a couple of weeks you'll be thinking, oh, why don't I worry about that?
Am I looking in my mirrors right though? Because I'm using that one a lot.
Well, I've been taking care of an awful lot of that because I wanted to kind of focus on you to get all of that sort of stuff right. So I've taken care of it, but we're checking our mirrors before we do it. We're making the right decisions on signalling. The one thing we're not doing is checking the blind spot before we move off.
Right.
But I've done it every time, so it doesn't really matter.
Right.
The key thing is, the hard bit is getting that coordination.
And then that's when I can start. Because you're always here, and I need to remember you're here and you're keeping me safe.
Well, where we start from is that I'm taking responsibility for everything. Eventually, you'll take responsibility for everything. But we pass that over gradually. You know, when you're ready to take it. Sometimes it is important that, well, okay, I'll take care of that while you focus on this. Because the most important thing is that. And it'd be very easy for me to say, oh, well, yeah, that was a lovely pull away, but you didn't check your blind spot. Oh, well, we've taken that out of the equation. Let's work on the bit that we're working on. Let's nail that, and then let's add the other bits.
Yeah.
So the next times that we come to pull away, I mean, on our next lesson, we'll either do steering or gears. If we do gears, we're going to do a load of moving off and stopping. Now, it's up to you which way around you want to do that. If we do gears, we'll possibly come back here to do it. So we'll then be going up and down the gearbox, but we'll go up and down and stop, up and down and stop, up and down and stop. So we're doing loads more stopping. So as well as doing the new stuff, we're also still doing the stuff that we've been working on.
Yeah.
So we're building up in layers. And then the steering comes on top of that, and then it's coordination, then junctions, where we're still doing loads of moving off and stopping. So by the time we get to, you know,
you can sort of feel it, can't you? Like when we were going off, I know if I went any faster, I'd have had to go up a gear to go.
The car tells you.
It does, you can feel it.
Yeah. So we've looked at the targets. Now, what we said is, you can mark those off in your book when we get home. You can either mark them off in the little book or in this book here, but they're all covered, aren't they?
Yeah.
So in the back of your book, oops, if I got the right page, you can tick all those targets off and get moving. So that's number one done. But when we come to do the next lessons, we're doing all this again, over and over. And at each stage, once we get to this point, everything we do after that is a combination of all those. So you're always going over and over and over. By the time we get down to here, you'll have pulled off and stopped 1,000 times. You'll not even be thinking about it anymore. That's how it works. And all of these skills that we're learning, you know, this close quarters control skill with the clutch, that's going to help you with your manoeuvres, because you're going to be able to control the car with your clutch control. So it all builds up. But that's the hardest one, to get that good clutch control nailed. Now, we spend a lot of time on that, whereas, you know, some driving schools that just get you to move off a couple of times, then you'd be into junctions. Well, you've never really refined that clutch control. So if we nail it to begin with, like you have done, then you're sorted. Does that make sense?
It does.
Are we happy?
Yes.
So you can mark your targets in there. What I'd like you to do, well, we can either, there's two ways we can do it. We can either do that, you know, your lesson planner diary. So for next time, we'll either do gears or we'll do steering, or if we get the time, we'll maybe do both, and any potential preparation. And then we'll decide. I mean, you can make the decision now, where you can have a think about it and decide what you want to do before we.
I think I'd like to do gears, because then it's more doing this.
Okay, so you can stick that in your lesson planner, and then you maybe put in brackets and steering if we get the time, because we'll have to go somewhere else for steering. Then we can either do this as, everybody has a different view on this. You can either do this as part of the lesson, we can talk about it now, how did you think that went, or you can go home, have a think about it, and then fill this in. It's entirely up to you. Which way would you rather do that?
Either way, either
well,
or.
We'll try go home, think about it,
Yeah.
and just evaluate. And I'll tell you what you might find useful. Have a talk to other people and ask them, how was it when you first learned to drive? Did you think you'd ever get clutch control? And they'll all say, no, I don't think I'd ever get it.
Good.
And then score it 1 to 10, how you thought your progress was, 1 to 10, how the lesson went, what would you like to do better, what would you like to feel better about, what new lesson targets did you achieve, well, you've already got that. But also have a think about, what did we do today that worked for you? What did we do that didn't work for you? So the stuff that worked for you, we're going to do more of that. The stuff that didn't work for you, we're going to do less of that. So we put all the time where it's evolving.
It's like me talking to myself on that.
Yeah.
And you just being quiet.
Yeah, just shut up.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's because if it works, it works. And it's, again, this can be part of the problem with traditional instruction. The instructor will be in, do this, do that, do that, do this, do that. Trying their best to help, but you know, the people might be sat there thinking, will you just shut up?
Yeah.
So we need to find ways that work for you, and this is the key to this whole thing.
Yeah.
This whole culture, this student-centered approach, is to find things that work for you, and keep doing that. Oh, one last little bit that I forgot about in my earlier lesson today. talking about the confirmation of training. This is the form you sign to say that you're happy. If you're not happy, you don't sign it. This is the one that releases the money from the client's account to the instructor, and it's basically saying, I've filled it in for you, but I, Claire Brown, see, I got your name right there. I'm authorising you to release the appropriate amount of money held in the client's account on my behalf to my instructor to cover the following items. I have completed 1 hour of tuition, evening 29. I'll put today's date on, that's your details. If you're happy to have that money released, sign the form.
Oh, there.
That's the one. That's worse than my signature. Thank you very much. So all that remains is we'll swap seats. We'll drive you and we can relax now. Job well done. We've met the targets that we set.
Yeah.
If we do that on every lesson...
The first time I did that and I was stalling, I thought I'm never going to get this. But I didn't
so.
stall, did I?
No.
I did it twice, 3 times, 4 times.
How smooth was it at the end? You could have stood a cup of coffee on there and it wouldn't have fallen over.
Well, I don't know.
It wouldn't?
We all cars driving by me. Beeping.
Bless their cotton socks. There's just no need for it, that's the annoying thing.